Dragon Ball Daima is the final work of Akira Toriyama and has been met with mixed reviews since its release, with the many viewers comparing the anime to Dragon Ball GT. Whether you believe that's fair or not is a different story, but in my opinion, Dragon Ball Daima has been a fun adventure so far throughout the series. It takes me back to the original Dragon Ball series and how adventure was a huge part of what made that show so much fun. Overall, I've had a good time with the show, and I'll tell you why. Now, to give a simple and short background on the plot of Daima, Goku and friends are turned into children by a wish made by Shenron that leads them on an adventure to the Demon Realm. While exploring the Demon Realm and collecting the Dragon Balls of this world to revert back to adults, they'll come across new friends and new enemies along the way. Now, to me, when I read all that, it really starts to remind me more of the original Dragon Ball series, which, like I mentioned before, is something that Dragon Ball has been missing lately. The adventure aspect of this is something I've missed in the series as a whole, and that's the heart of this show. Next, let's get into some characters. Of course, we have returning characters like Piccolo, Vegeta, Goku, and Supreme Kai, to name a few. We also been introduced to some new characters as well in Glorio, Ponzi, and two of Supreme Kai's siblings, who we don't know too much about yet, but we can confirm they have alternative motives by how they're being set up throughout the show. And finally, King Goma, the main antagonist. Now, a character I feel is missing, especially when it comes to the time and when Daima takes place, which is a year after the Majin Buu saga, is Gohan. They continue to give a terrible excuse that he's gone studying somewhere, even though they were having a get-together where every other character was present. Now, the wish that was made should have affected not only the people that were present at that party, but all the Z fighters. So even if that's the case and Gohan is studying or working somewhere, him randomly turning into a child seems like it might be an issue. Gohan also was the strongest character at the end of the Majin Buu arc, not including fusions of course, and I understand it's been an entire year, so he may not be the strongest anymore, but him just not being present even days after being changed to a child is kind of odd to me as a viewer. I've also seen some complaints about how Goku is animated, and I'll just be honest, if you're looking for more of a dark and gloomy aesthetic similar to GT, then this show isn't for you. So don't go into it and be disappointed when you don't get that. Daima is bright and colorful, and the characters actually resemble children. They don't just look like smaller versions of their adult selves. As far as the combat, there isn't much of it yet, but when they do get to fighting, it looks pretty good. We're only on episode 7, so I do expect the action to ramp up as we get closer to the climax of the series, and once Goku and Vegeta reunite. But as it stands now, visually I'm a fan of what I've seen so far, so unless the animation just drops off a cliff at some point, I consider myself a fan of what they've done so far. Overall, I'd recommend the show for any Dragon Ball fan or Dragon Ball Z fan that hasn't given it a try yet. I do believe if you're going to go into it playing a compare game to Dragon Ball GT, then just stay away, because it's not what you're going to be looking for, and it will ultimately be a letdown for you. We're only on episode 7 at the moment, and we have a lot more ground to cover, so if you guys enjoy these reviews, please let me know down below, and I'll give my opinion on the full series once it's complete, or any other anime out there like Don. But it's been your boy Kasuke, and I'm out. Peace.